this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 196, would you believe? I can't believe it. Yep, we're doing reruns. So for those people who don't watch my channel, we are rerunning weeks that have been before. So we are rerunning week number 96. So week number 196 now. So what are we making this week? We are making Roxy Creations / Junie Desiree. They're triple pockets, fold out. They're not fold out, sorry, triple pockets. So what do you need if you want to make along with this? You are going to need some papers. Now, when I say some papers, I have got printables here. And again, I say this every week. That's because that's what I predominantly have here. Now, you don't have to use printables. You could use scrapbook paper, you could use book page, you could use sheet music, you know, any of those types of things. I would probably suggest nothing too thick. So if you're using scrapbook paper, maybe use, you know, the slightly thinner scrapbook paper rather than, you know, sometimes I think, you know, it can even move towards 300 GSM. So 280, I think would be too thick for these. They'd kind of bulk out. But yes, you could definitely use scrapbook paper. You could use sheet music, you know, any of that. You may want to have, you know, different patterned papers so that you can kind of put, you know, for the insides. And you'll see once we get making them. So, you know, you've got contrast in different sort of, you know, array of papers. So I've got a whole bunch here. Now, mine are all printed on, I think this is like 110 GSM papers. So a whole different, you know, variety of papers, like I say, printables. And I've also got some book page, which I may do the inner parts, which again, like I say, you will see when we get making. I've got this, which I'm using as my glue spreader. This is a chipboard sticker, which I'm using at the moment. I've got scissors, which you may or may not need, depending on whether you need to trim your paper down. And again, you'll see, you know, what I'm talking about once I actually kind of get making one. And then you're going to need some glue. Now, I will probably be using my Anita's Tacky Glue. This is a PVA based glue, and this is kind of my go-to glue. Now, you don't have to use this. Use the glue that you find, you know, works best. And you may need a bone folder, and you may need, or you may need your scissor handles. So, you know, whatever you like to use as your crease maker. And then aside from that, you may want to have your blendy tool and maybe some distressing if you want to distress your pages. Completely up to you, again, whether you want to actually do that. So how do we make these pockets? Let's get to having a look. And obviously my desk being my desk, and I know I say this every week, you know, I've got a whole ton of things that I can decorate these up with. Now, what I like to do is just make, you know, basic foundation pieces, which I will then decorate just one for the purposes of the mass making, and then the rest I will kind of leave until I come to use them, and then I will decorate them up, you know, as and when I use them. So mine is an A4 sheet, so that's what we have here in the UK. That's kind of close to your letter size if you're in the US. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your sheet and you're going to fold it on the short edge. So like that, we're folding it in half on the short edge, not the long edge. Okay, so like that. And then what you're going to do, super easy, is you're going to just fold your piece in. Now, this one here, as you can see, some bits are kind of more decorated than others. So I just want to make sure I'm getting, you know, the most decorated parts showing, if you see what I mean. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it in here. Now, what you are doing, you're going to take this over to, oh, probably like 3/4 of the way. So I'm going to just squish this down like that. I'm going to, again, just use my scissor handles for squishing that. Squish it there as well. So you can see I've got a slither here where it's not meeting. So I haven't gone right over, folding it like in half right to the edge. I've just gone about 3/4 of the way. Okay. Again, no need to measure this or anything. Just do it, you know, as far as you sort of fancy at the time. Doesn't matter if it's kind of further over, doesn't matter if it's, you know, less far. But you want it kind of roughly, you know, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way across. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to fold down this portion here on a triangle. So you get a diagonal kind of pocket. Again, squish that down like that. So when you fold it in, what you're going to have is a pocket here. You're going to have a pocket here. And then you're going to have a pocket either at the top, like that, or at the side, depending on how you glue yours together. So this is where I'm talking about that you may want a contrasting piece of paper here to put into this section. So I'm just going to have a look. This is my Pink Posies paper, and I will try and remember to mention which papers I'm using as I'm using them. So I'm just going to see whether I've got any paper that would kind of go nicely with this. I have got some of my pale lace paper, which might look quite nice. So I'm just going to fold that in like that. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. I'll just take that down here. Oops. So I'm just tearing mine, but of course, you know, you could cut it. So then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop it, you know, roughly where I want it to go. So just going to cut it down here. Okay, now I'm just going to trim my edges up, take those little scraps off, and this piece is going to go in here. Again, you know, you could leave that obviously plain. I personally just like to cover it up. I don't really want it having just plain white, you know, glaring white paper. So what you're going to then do is you're going to start by obviously gluing this piece down. So this is where I'm going to find my glues now. Not going to work because I haven't used it yet today. So let's just get it going. Okay, oh, it's coming out all right. So, oh, so far so good. So, okay, oh, maybe not. I spoke too soon. Right, let me just undo a paper clip to use to unclog my glue nozzle. Okay, right. This is where now we'll go from one extreme to the other and it will come pouring out. Oh, it's still not. No, we're in luck, it's still not. So I'm going to then go into here. So as I'm getting, you know, as close to the edges as I can. Okay. So we're just going to pop that down. Oops. Pop that down like that. Obviously use my glue spreader to spread the glue out. Okay. Like that. Right. Let me get my dry wipe. Okay. Right. And then what I'm going to do, I turn it over so that I can just see easily to trim it round. So I'm just going to trim it down here. Oops. Like that. And then I'm just going to trim it down here along this edge as well. Oops. Oh, it's a little bit fiddly. I don't know why I'm finding it fiddly. I'm obviously doing it at a weird angle, I think. But anyway, so that's like that. And then we're just going to glue our little triangle down here. Okay. So like that. Okie dokie. Mop up the desk. So that's how your pocket's going to look. Now it's up to you whether you have your pocket at the top, like there, or whether you want it at the side. So for this one, I'm going to have it at the top. So what you're going to want to do is, oops, you're going to want to glue your pocket down. So we're going to put some glue here. Oops. Like that, okay. We're then going to have glue, oops, let me check how we do want it. Yep, so then we're going to have glue here on this little side, like that. And then we want glue here on this edge, okay. So then when you close your piece up, squish your glue down, like that, okay. Okie dokie. And then just, yep, take the glue out. Okie dokie. And then just here, like that. Okay, and then you can fold your piece over like that. So you're going to have your pocket here at the top, like that, and then you're going to glue down here, one, and then there, two. Okay, squish those down and press your glue or spread your glue like that. Okay, like that. So you've got your pocket here. Just find something to demonstrate. Okay, well, it's not brilliant, but yep, you've got your pocket there, you've got a pocket here, and then you've got a pocket, oops, here at the top. And then when you glue this into your page, or, you know, onto your page, depending on how you glue it, you could also have then, you know, a pocket here, for example, or a pocket here. So I would do it the opposite to the piece I have left as a pocket on the pocket, if that makes sense. So i.e. this is a top loading pocket at the back, so I would have it as a side loading pocket, how I've glued it onto the page. If I'd left this section open and closed the top, I would glue it down like that, so it's glued along that side, and I would have a top loading pocket where it's glued onto the page. I hope that's making sense. But aren't they just lovely pockets? And they are so simple to make, aren't they? And they're really giving a lot of, you know, different tucks and, you know, pockets and areas. So yeah, absolutely love those. So let's do another one, because I went off a little bit waffly. So let me just grab in some more paper. So let's take this paper. So this is from my Redbirds kit. So, or my Redbirds papers, perhaps I should say. So again, we are folding up on the short edge to begin with. Okay, so squish that down like that. Okay, and then what you're doing is you're coming over one of the ways. So just, you know, decide which way you want it, so you've got, you know, not the best patterns, but you know what you deem to be the best patterns. So I mean, I quite like it like that, except it looks a little bit like a mirror image. So I think I'm actually going to go for it like this, because that gives me a slightly different feel for it. So I'm just going to squish that down like that, and then squish it down here as well. And then if you remember, we then open it and we take this front piece and we're going to fold that down to make a triangular pocket. Okay, so it's like that now. Then what you want to do is obviously put your piece in there. So let's just have a look. Again, I'm thinking that lace looks really pretty in there, doesn't it? So this is my lace, pastel laces. Now I can't remember, I'm afraid, whether this one would be in the pinks or in the blues and greens set, but it's quite a versatile, nice one, because it, you know, it pretty much kind of goes really nicely and tones with most, you know, most things. So I'm going to move it down, because as you can see, I mean, I tore it obviously in the last, you know, on the last pocket. So I'm just going to come down here like that. Okay, so just get rid of it here like that. Okie dokie. Right, so we're going to glue this in. Now it doesn't really matter, I'm going to obviously have a gap here where my paper's torn. I don't mind that, you know. If that bothers you, obviously, you know, get yourself a fresh sheet of paper if you've done something like that. Personally, I don't think it matters. You know, it's going to look really nice anyway. And actually, sometimes having just the odd piece, like, you know, as a chunk sort of missing or anything, it can actually add to the interest and make it, you know, a slightly more interesting looking, you know, finished piece. So yeah, don't be afraid to use things if, you know, if you tear them or, you know, crease them or, I don't know, cut them slightly skew-iff or something, you know, don't feel afraid to use them because you might actually find they still look really good. So we've got that one. Then we just then go in with our triangle and glue that down here. Okay. And again, just take my glue spreader, spread that around here. Like that. Okay. So then all we're doing is then folding our pocket up and we're going to assemble it. So what we're going to do is we're going to then open it back out. Oops. And we're going to put glue down here. So like that. Okay. Glue down the edge because I'm going to have this one again like a top loading pocket. So along that outer edge, and then glue down this outer edge here. Okay, so close your pocket up and then just squish it in with your glue spreader. Like I say, I'm using these chipboard stickers just because they've been sat in my stash for a long time not being used. And I thought, well, I might as well use them in this way rather than not use them at all. But failing that, you know, use an old, I don't know, gift card or something like that, to be honest. You know, that's what I like to use as my glue spreaders generally. So that's my pocket now, semi-assembled. Okay, squish them sides down. And then what we're going to do is, of course, stick this section, you know, the front to the back. So straight along there and then here. Okay, like that. Okay. Like that. So press that down. And this one. So again, just to kind of demonstrate, you've got your pocket here, you've got your pocket here, we've got our pocket here at the top, and then when you glue it down, glue it on 3 sides, and you'd have then, you know, a side loading pocket as well. And I mean, isn't that one so pretty? I have to say, I really, really love that red paper with that pale lace. Just going to trim it up slightly because I saw just, you know, where my folding had gone slightly wonky. So just neatening that up at the bottom, but absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? So yeah, super lovely pockets. So obviously we have done 2 run-throughs. I mean, to be honest, you know, although there's sort of quite a few stages to them, they're actually pretty simple. So I don't think I probably need to run you through another one. So, you know, we can just relax into it now and do some sorry, I'm losing the will to live. Not losing the will to live, losing the ability to speak. You are probably losing the will to live. Yes, I'm losing the ability to speak here. So what we're going to do some assembly line style mass making. So by that, what I'm saying is I'm going to take papers and do each stage, you know, together. So I'm going to take all my papers and fold them in half. Then I'm going to get all my papers and cut them down to make this, you know, this background section. And we'll do them like that. And hopefully, you know, that way we will get quite a few done. So let's pull in some paper. Now, I've got lots of my butterfly collection papers here, which are really pretty. I'm not sure that these are going to be the best for these pockets, however, because they're going to then be sideways on. So I'm just going to see whether we can use any of these. These have been, you know, these are the ones that when I was making the papers, if you see what I mean. So these are like overspills. But yeah, they're from the butterfly collection, from the collections edition of background papers. And oh, I just really loved them. So yeah, I thought, well, let's see if we can make some of these. So again, you know, even though you've got a sideways on pattern, because we're then, you know, going to take our paper to find the way that suits best, you may find that actually you can get away with using something that, you know, doesn't on first glance seem like it would work. So I mean, this obviously, it had quite big butterflies in quite a few places, But by just carefully folding it, we have been able to find a way that works where actually it doesn't look too wonky and too kind of strange, you know, with the butterflies. So I'm going to just do that, and then I'm going to take my triangle and fold that portion in. So I'm going to do this for several of them, and then we will obviously, you know, line them with the inner paper. So that's that one. Right, let's see. I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to use any more of the butterfly papers, if I'm truthful. I have got this one actually. That one, maybe not, to be honest. Yeah, maybe it won't. Okay, so I've got this one. This is from my oh gosh, what's the, oh, I've forgotten now what this one is called. It might be the Vintage Victorian, or Victorian Vintage, I think. So yeah, let's kind of just go in with this one. Now again, you know, going to have to do some careful folding, because, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, it's got some bold patterns, if that makes sense. So I mean, it's not necessarily an obvious choice to make these types of pockets, but I think it does still, you know, it does still work. So yep, we've got that one. And then we just fold this one in here like that. Okay. And then of course, you know, this has got actually some of my pink Paris papers on the inside, but of course we're going to cover that up with a different paper, so it will all look fine once it's done. So that's that one. Okay, what else have I got here? I've got some from my Belgian blue papers. Now again, they may be quite bold patterns to be able to really use one. They might not really lend themselves that brilliantly to being made into these types of pockets, but let's just have a look and see, because I think, you know, maybe they would be nice, or perhaps that's all the ones I've got. Oh no, here's some more Belgian blue here at the back. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, oh, that one might be a good one to use actually. Oh, look at what's happened here. Right, well, this one, obviously, what we're going to have to do is, yeah, we'd have to go in here, I think. Yeah. So, just take that one down. Oh, I think I have to go in this way. So, right, hold on a second. Right, I just had a message from Natalie because, yeah, she's looking after my daughter at the moment. So she's had a play date with, you know, my sister's son. So, yeah, she's just messaged and said they're just at McDonald's. So they're going to bring her back soon. So that's fine. We can just carry on with what we're doing here. Okay, right, so we've got that. Now, I have got this little section here where I obviously had a problem with it printing, which is a bit annoying, but I think it's fine. Or we could have it that way. And then that's there. Or what we could do, actually, I hadn't really thought of doing this, but what I might do is actually trim this off along here. So we're just, what's the word? Well, I suppose we are winging it, but yeah, we're just on the fly, crafting on the fly here. So yeah, if we have that down like that, now which way round do I want it? I can afford to be a bit more choosy now with how I want to have it. Oh, well, let's go for like that anyway. So, right, so now I'm just going to then fold my triangle in here. So this one obviously is not going to be as tall as the others, but that's fine. It's going to still be absolutely fine. So there we go. Okay, and yep, so that was the Belgian blue papers. Then we have got some from the Amaranthine Loveliness papers. Now, these, again, I'm not sure how suitable they're going to be for these particular pockets because they are quite, you know, full-on pictures or images on them. So I've got this one, I mean, this one would probably be pretty good. Well, to be fair, either of these, I suppose, perhaps that one. Might be even better. Or we might be able to get away with one of these. Probably not the one with the lady and the coach, if I'm truthful. Let's just see. I really do love these amaranthine loveliness papers. They're really very pretty, I have to say. Oh, or maybe that one. Oh, I'm now not sure. Let me just see. Oh. Do you know, I'm having this ridiculous behaviour again where I'm now trying to hoard the paper. I mean, again, and I know I say this all the time, what is wrong with me? These are printables, for goodness sake, that I can just print off more. And what's more, you know, they're even my own printables. I mean, why would I feel the need to hoard these? What on earth is that about? It's just crazy behaviour. I don't know what goes on, honestly. What on earth goes on? Oh, now I'm thinking, actually, would I prefer it that way around? I think I would, actually. Oh, although that's going to be folded over, so we're going to lose a lot of that. Sorry, if you just heard my little dog Bo, she just kind of like groaned. She just does that every now and then. She obviously does that when I think I'm disturbing her. And I know I said recently, but she's taken to sleeping now right beside my stool. So I work at like a kitchen island, but in my craft room. So I'm on a stool and I kneel up on my stool. And yeah, she is literally right down beside me. So kind of like squished in. I mean, literally I have to step over her now to actually get out of my... I'm going to use this one as well. So this is also the Amaranthine Loveliness, but I thought this would also be... you know, pretty nice, and actually would look quite different to this because of course it's not, you know, it's not got the blues and things. So yeah, I think they're going to look quite different pockets even though they're from the same kit. Yeah, so she's taken to being right down beside me, and honestly, I mean, she's so squished down there. I mean, I'm surprised that she likes laying there, but she does. Yeah, she does seem to quite like it. So, yeah. Anyway, never mind. So, anyway, let's now have our catch up, which I'd said about having, didn't I? And yeah, then I must have just been waffling about the pockets, I think. So, anyway, I hope everybody's week has started out well. I know I say all this every week, but yes, I film these generally on a Monday, ready to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So I'm filming this on the Monday. Now, as it happens, I'm filming this in the afternoon, and I would normally film it in the morning. So I'm a little bit waffly because I'm not at my best in the afternoon. I'm really a morning person. And so, yeah, by this time in the day, I've really passed my best, if I'm truthful. So I do apologise now. But yeah, I just had a lot of things to do today. So I've, you know, just had to kind of like do it in the reverse order. But yeah, so I do apologise. So these are from my Brown Bunnies kit, which I have to say, I mean, how gorgeous are these papers? So absolutely lovely, aren't they? Now again, I want to just pick so that I'm getting the, you know, the maximum lovely patterns on show. So I just need to really decide, because obviously don't forget I'm folding that corner in, so I must remember that, because you know, whatever is on show, that whole section at the top is actually going to be lost, so you know, it's not going to be on show, so I must kind of bear that in mind. So I think like this way around is better, because then the flower's still on show down there. So just squish that down. Yeah, so anyway, I do hope everybody's week started out well. So my week has started out okay. What's going on with the weather here? Well, what is going on with the weather? Good question. Oh, we keep being promised a heat wave, and yeah, so far not really had one. Yesterday we had, it was quite, well, no, it was a nice day. Yeah, in fairness, it was a nice day. Not as nice as you would hope for, you know, the middle of August, it's got to be said. But it was okay. We've had a really disappointing summer, and I know that I had a couple of comments the other day from lovely ladies who are really struggling with complete opposite ends of the spectrum with regards to really searing hot temperatures. Now I'm just going to do my inner pieces of paper here. So yeah, so I mean, I feel really mean kind of complaining about how, you know, diabolical our weather has been, but I mean, it has been a pretty awful summer. But I mean, that being said, obviously compared to the searing temperatures that some of you guys have been getting, then, you know, we've actually been really lucky, because I know that lots of you have really been suffering, you know, and there've been fires and all sorts of things. So, you know, I'm not trying to, yeah, in any way diminish what other people have been struggling with. So yeah, send in my thoughts and prayers to you guys if you are anywhere which has been affected by really incredibly hot temperatures. I do hope that you're all doing okay, that you're all looking after yourselves and, you know, staying safe and things. But yeah, we have not been having a great summer. So ours has been like the opposite end of the spectrum, in that we've had like no sunshine. But yesterday was okay. I have to say, it was the very first time, I think, this whole year that we've actually been to the beach and had a beach day. So we normally love going down the beach, and we, you know, we try and go there all the time in the summer. And this year we just have not had the opportunity to go down there. It's been so rubbish. But yesterday we finally had a beach day. I mean, it wasn't really, you know, beach weather. I mean, it was kind of beach, but in your dress, you know, not a bikini or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, we kind of made the best of it and we went down there, but I mean, it still wasn't as good as it could have been. But yeah, we did have a nice time, and, you know, we did make the best of it. And, you know, of course, obviously it was nice to actually just get out and get some sort of fresh air. So that was yesterday. So yeah, went my daughter, my son and his friend, and my mum and Natalie and her son. So yeah, we all went down there. We had a nice time. And then Saturday, what did I do on Saturday? I just did some work on Saturday, and then later on in the day I just went for a walk with Bo and my daughter and another friend. So yeah, that was kind of all we did on Saturday. Trying to think, what else have we been doing? Not a lot, to be honest, just working really. So yeah, just working, but it's been okay, because, you know, like I say, I mean, it's not like the weather's been great shakes or anything like that, so we haven't felt like we've been missing out by just, you know, just staying in working. So yeah, it's all been fine. Right, now just having a look to see what papers I might like to use to back these. I don't know whether this might be really weird to use some of these butterfly papers. Oh, what about if we use this in here? I'm not sure. I quite would like to, you know, or I would quite like to mix and match some of these, but it might be just like a step too far. Yeah, might be a step too far. What have I been watching on TV? Let's have a think. So I watched something yesterday. Now, I have to be honest, I mean, I go to bed ridiculously early. So I started watching it, ended up falling asleep in it, had to turn it off. But started watching this thing that was, I think it was like film number 3, you know, like in the popular films category on Netflix. So it was called Tim, T.I.M. So yeah, Tim. And it was like an AI kind of robot type thing. I have to say, I quite enjoyed it. Now, like I say, I did fall asleep. That was not representative of how good or bad the program was. I just rubbish staying awake. So yeah, I fell asleep, but please don't think that that's, you know, anything to do with the program itself or, you know, the film itself. So it was quite good. I'm halfway through because, of course, then I woke up and, you know, had to switch it off. So I'm going to watch the rest of it tonight. And actually, my son is home tonight, and so I might actually watch it with him. yeah, we might watch it. And because I was telling him about it, and he kind of said, oh, sounds, you know, sounds kind of good, kind of intriguing, you know. So yeah, I think he might watch it. I think he'll like it. So yeah, obviously haven't seen the end of it, so I don't know, you know, how it's going to end up. But I think is taking a sinister turn. So it's like a robot that's living in the house, like as a, you know, home help kind of thing. And it's a robot that looks like a person. So, you know, it's, yeah, it's got a human form kind of thing. And yeah, it's almost like a little sort of, yeah, like a housekeeper kind of role. But I think it is about to get very sinister. So obviously I have not watched it, so I don't know whether I'm right in thinking that. But I think it is about to go like down a sinister route. So yeah, I shall let you know how that goes. Right, I'm just searching through papers, trying to see what might look good with these. So got some of my brown lace. I mean, that's kind of quite nice, but I mean, it's not bad, but I'm not sure whether it's great. Let's just put this down. Right. Yeah, so that's what I've been watching last night. I also watched, a program over here in the UK called At Home with the Furies. Now, this is about the boxer Tyson Fury and his family. Now, I would call this kind of like, you know, yeah, trashy kind of entertainment that, you know, I think a lot of us quite like. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, I have to say. So, yeah, I would recommend that. Now, I binge watched, like, loads of them. I was just working, like, you know, in bed one night. And, yeah, watching it kind of in bed. And before I know it, I'd watched loads of them. So, yeah, it was obviously pretty good. I'd got through something like, I think there might have been 6 or 8 episodes, and I'd done, you know, watched all bar 2 of them. So I'd really properly binge watched. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it anyway. So it was quite good. Now I'm just wondering actually whether I should have this in here, the lilac one. Oh, I don't think it matters actually. I'm going to have it in here. Yeah, so I'd binge watched that, and then funnily enough, I mean, I didn't realise. I don't know why I hadn't realised, because I didn't realise that that was, you know, like a popular one that lots of people are watching. And of course it was, because that was why it was coming up as a recommended, you know, watch, because of course it was popular. Because since, you know, since binge watching it, loads of people have said that they've also been watching it. So it's obviously, you know, it's a popular one at the moment. Again, I mean, I don't know whether you would want to watch that if you weren't from the UK. You maybe wouldn't, you know, be interested. Hold on a second. Sorry about this. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry about that. So that was Natalie again. And she said they've had their McDonald's and the children were saying, could they have a sleepover? So now my daughter's now staying the night at Natalie's. Natalie is coming round tomorrow to work for the day. So she just said, you know, is it okay if she stays? And then, you know, she'll bring her back when she comes to work in the morning. So, fantastic. Yeah. So, yep, that's the plan now, which is awesome. They're obviously having a brilliant time, the pair of them. So, yeah, that's really, really nice for them. Right. Okay, let's pop this in here. So, yeah, I can't remember now what I was saying, actually, prior to that. I think I was talking about the At Home with the Furies, you know, well, kind of documentary, I suppose, that I've been watching. So, yes, really been enjoying it. And, yeah, just really kind of quite easy viewing, you know, just been putting one on after another. I mean, you know, it's that sort of, I don't know, cheap entertainment, you know, where it's like effortless entertainment that you're not really have to focus on or concentrate too much. It's just kind of like rolling in the background. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. Right, okay, so those were my document header backgrounds, by the way, that I used on there. So I'm going to just clear these papers that I had on my lap and just put them behind my desk. And then we're just going to glue all of these down. Okay. So, yeah, that's fantastic. You know, I'm now thrown because I think, oh, I shall have time to be doing all sorts of things tonight. My mind's buzzing now with what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, unexpected, you know, free evening. Right, okay, so let's just pop this one down here. Yeah, I don't think we made it to the cinema at all last week. No, we didn't do that. Oh, my lovely walk with Bo. So on Saturday we took Bo for a walk, and yeah, we went to some woods quite near our house, which we'd never been to with Bo before. So we'd been to the, you know, these woods lots of times, but actually we must have not been to them for this whole year because we hadn't taken her at all, and we wouldn't have gone to them obviously without her. So yeah, I mean, how the time flies, because I feel like we'd only recently been there, but it must be a whole, you know, Bo's been with us since I think it's Boxing Day she came to us. So that's how long it is since we've actually done that walk. So absolutely yonks and yonks and yonks. Anyway, we went to the woods and I felt so proud of her. She's just, oh, so clever. I'm not saying Bo's so clever. Obviously, all dogs, you know, all dogs are very clever. But yeah, I was very impressed because I do let her off her lead when we take her for a walk generally. And, you know, obviously we had not been to those woods with her before. And I thought, oh gosh, I hope she doesn't get lost, you know, like go running off and then, yeah, get separated from us, kind of run into the trees and, you know, then not be able to find her. Well, I was so proud of her because, bless her, although she was off her lead, she seemed to just get that, you know, oops, I'm in different woods here. I haven't actually been here before, you know. So she did not run off. I mean, normally she kind of runs, say, like 20 metres ahead and then comes back. 20 metres ahead, comes back. She did not do that at all. She just literally kind of like ran straight in front of me or straight beside me. You know, kind of like really stayed very close by and, yeah, didn't kind of like veer too far from me at all. Which I just thought, well, isn't she clever? Because, you know, she obviously knew, oh, you know, I don't want to go getting lost here. And I just find that really, really clever and really smart that dogs are sort of like intelligent enough to, you know, to identify, well, actually, you know, I don't know my way around here. I best not sort of go too far. So I was very, very impressed with her, I have to say. Right, now I've made a bit of a mess here at the top, you can probably see. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim this down the side because I seem to have made a mess there as well. So I'm just going to trim it down here. Like that. Okay, and then here, just glue this one down. Yeah, so I was very proud of her, to be honest, because, you know, I didn't have to worry at all. She just, you know, stayed right close. And I'm sure that all dogs do that. I'm sure that's not unique to Bo. I'm not trying to kind of claim she's like super dog or anything like that. You know, because I said about it to my sister and she kind of said, oh, yeah, you know, I think dogs do that. So, I mean, obviously I'm a new dog owner, so, you know, I didn't really know whether they would be likely to do that or not. So I was impressed. Impressed and relieved, you know, because, of course, I was a bit like, oh, my goodness, I hope we don't lose her. But, yeah, she's obviously, you know, smarter than we give her credit for, or all dogs smarter than I give them credit for. So yeah, very, very proud that she was clever girl and did not go too far. Right, there we go. That one. Well, I'm going to do this one, I think. Yeah, I just fancy doing this one. There we go. And thank you so much to everybody who placed an order last week in my shop. I think I did say thank you last week, but just in case I forgot, I'd just like to say a massive thank you now. So, you know, either in my Etsy shop for digitals or on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website for physical products. Thank you so, so much. I have done a little bit of a sort of mini restock on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So there are a few products which have been restocked now. I did lots of lace clusters, so there's lots of lace clusters now in there. And also the vintage document fragment packs. So this is fragments from original vintage book pages and documents. They also have been replenished, so you get 25 vintage, you know, vintage pieces in an envelope, so fragments of vintage pieces in an envelope. And they're a really fun thing to have, actually, and you can do quite a bit with those 25 pieces. So yeah, they're really fun. So I've put those in there, and also the 100 flowers. There's packs of 100 kind of different flower trims. I've also put those, replenished the stocks for those in the shop as well. So yeah, and I have got a few more things, but I need to, you know, do some finishing off before I can put other things in there. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Oh, tag bags as well. I put 3 tag bags in the shop as well. Yeah, so there's 3 tag bags in there as well. So yeah, all of those things have been replenished. And I will just mention they are all kind of potluck basis, all of those items. So, you know, the flowers, the you know, fragment packs, the tag bags, and the lace clusters, they are all on a potluck basis. So, you know, I can't guarantee what colours or what configurations or, you know, what vintage documents you're going to get, because they're all kind of individually picked at random, but they're all in there anyway. So, and like I say, over the next few days I hope to get more things stocked in there as well, so because it was looking a bit thin on the ground and not very well stocked since last weekend. So yeah, been trying to kind of like get to grips with that a little bit. Okay, so that one's quite nice, isn't it, with the pink and the blue. Looks quite different. Right, now I'm just checking. Obviously I don't know really how long we've been filming for now, because the phone rang, and I had to stop the video, so I can't guarantee how long we've been filming for. So I will probably do this as the last one, and then we'll decorate one up. So we'll just, yeah, do this as the last one, and then we will decorate one. So okie dokie. There we go. Oops. There we go. Oh, I had to take my son also for his theory driving test. So I know I did mention this a couple of weeks ago that he'd done his theory driving test and he'd failed by literally, it was 2 marks. It was, I think he had to get 44 and he got 42, but he'd got 50 out of 50 on the other portion. So he was so gutted. Anyway, he managed to get one in a different town. And of course, obviously roped me into taking him. So that was a, you know, long, boring day really. But he did the test and he did pass. So yeah, really pleased for him. So yep, he has passed his theory. So he now obviously needs to pass his actual driving test. So he at the moment is hoping to get a cancellation because he's booked a driving test, but it's not until January, which is a really long time away, isn't it? So yeah, and you know what it's like when you're young, you can't wait, can you? So I mean, January sounds like quite a while even to me, but when you're young, that must just feel like forever. So he's going to try and get a cancellation, and there's lots of cancellation apps and things these days. So apparently, I mean, I did not know that, but yeah, apparently that's what they, you know, they all have to do now. So I think he's going to try and get a cancellation somewhere. Okay. I love this one, I have to say. Don't you just love those colours together? They look really pretty, don't they? So this is from my, again, the pale laces from the pinks in the pale lace. And yeah, really, really love how it looks with these brown rabbits or brown bunnies. Background papers. It looks really pretty. Okay. Oh, now, just want to kind of send out some love to a couple of people. So, first of all, want to send lots of love to the lovely Michelle, who runs our Facebook group. Now, I mean, I really hope that Michelle won't mind me mentioning this, but she has been battling breast cancer. You know, I know that she has discussed this with you guys, you know, on the Facebook group. So I really pray that she does not mind me mentioning this. And yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully she won't, because like I say, I know she has kind of discussed it with you guys on the Facebook group. She is such a lovely lady, Michelle, and I'm sure that, you know, we all are so grateful to her, and she does such a fantastic job with the, you know, with the group. So she is so loving and so giving, and she has obviously been, you know, going through the worst possible time herself, and has still been doing the most amazing job. So yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. I mean, I swear to goodness, you know, I don't know what I would have done without you running that Facebook group, really. It has just been a godsend. So thank you so, so much for all your amazing, you know, skills and your amazing time that you dedicate to running that group. You know, I'm sure that I'm not alone in really being so grateful. But even more than that, you know, I really, really send so much love your way. She's been having more treatment and things. You know, I mean, touch wood, you know, fingers crossed it's going well, her treatment and things. But, you know, no matter how well it's going, it does not, you know, in any way kind of diminish or lessen the, you know, I'm sure terrifying and, you know, very kind of, yeah, scary and, you know, possibly painful, you know, sort of at times and things process of having to have the treatment. So, yeah, lots of love to you, Michelle. Really do. Oh, I forgot to put some inner paper in this. So perhaps we'll do something like that in this. But again, I won't get time to do that now. We're just going to decorate one of these up. So I'm just having a quick scoot around on the desk, like seeing if I've got anything close by that we could just use. So yeah, I mean, really, really keeping you in my thoughts, Michelle. And I just pray to goodness that your, you know, treatment is going well, and that, you know, you're doing well. And, you know, I hope that you make a swift recovery, and that, you know, your treatment is as good as it can be. I mean, I don't know really what would be the correct words to use, because of course, you know, it's not a kind of get well soon sort of situation, I suppose. But yeah, just that your treatment, I guess, is as good as it could possibly be. And yeah, that you kind of know that we're all thinking of you and really, you know, wishing you the best and praying and, you know, keeping you in our thoughts and things. So yeah, that's Michelle. So that is my, you know, first, you know, well wishes for Michelle. And perhaps, you know, we could all kind of like just send some lovely, you know, healthy, great vibes to Michelle there. So thank you so, so much, you know, for everything that you do. And yeah, just look after yourself. Please look after yourself, and don't be, you know, worrying about anything. Oh, what have I done here? Oh, I have not glued the bottom. I wonder if I have done that on all of these now, I'm thinking. Ooh, hold on. No, I haven't. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I'll just have to quickly glue this one down. So yeah, keeping you in our thoughts and prayers, and just wishing you, you know, absolutely all the best, and lots of healthy, you know, healthy kind of vibes, really. So yeah, lots of love to you. So that's Michelle. And then the other lovely lady who I want to, you know, just really send out just really, you know, all of our loving vibes and, you know, loving well wishes and, you know, kindness to, is the lovely Margaret from 7 Plaza. So now, I don't know whether you all caught her video recently, but bless her, she lost her dear mum. So I think the video she actually put up was a couple of weeks ago. I hadn't seen it, you know, until more recently. But yeah, she lost her dear mum. So, and her mum actually also had been, you know, battling from cancer. You know, so it had been like a long struggle. And then she did say it was kind of unexpected in the end. So I'm not sure whether her mum actually died, you know, from cancer in the end, or whether she passed from something else. But, you know, yeah. So, and she uploaded just the most lovely heartfelt video, and, you know, yeah, just lovely video, and obviously very heartwarming, and, you know, was talking about her mum, and she had this lovely special relationship with her mum. You know, her mum was kind of very much her source of inspiration, and, you know, her mum was very supportive of her channel and all of that kind of stuff. And, well, her craftiness, and, yeah, just lovely. But what was even lovelier is her dad. I think she said that he already lives, like, close by, but that they're going to kind of, like, have a room for him in their home. So her and her husband, you know, currently kind of live on their own, and they're going to have a room in their home, I think she was meaning, for her dad. And I just thought, oh, that's so lovely, because, of course, you know, I mean, that's, you know, a very big loss for him, isn't it? You know, because they've been married for a long time, and, you know, he's obviously used to being with her mum all the time. So, yeah, I'm sure that, you know, we'd all like to send our prayers and thoughts and everything else to Margaret. So, Margaret, I really hope that you are doing well. I think the funeral must have been by now. And yeah, just keeping you in our thoughts and prayers, and just, yeah, lots of love to you, really. And yeah, hope that you're doing well, and your husband and your dad, and, you know, everything. So yeah, so just all the best to you, really. And yeah, just, you know, take care of yourself, and know that we're all thinking of you, and, you know, sending our best wishes and our love to you. So yeah. And I know that she, you know, she posted her video, and, you know, she talked about it, and it's very much kind of similar situation to when I obviously posted my update recently. And, you know, I was so blown away from the incredible support that I had, and that, of course, was not why I posted the video. And she just touched on briefly again, you know, why you kind of feel the need to have to kind of share these things. And it's one of these tricky scenarios, because I think, you know, we all probably in the junk journal community, I don't know whether this is the same across the board for YouTube, or whether it's just in our special, you know, junk journal crafting community that we really feel this. But, you know, we really feel like we have made friends here. And, you know, when you post as often as, you know, Margaret and, you know, lots of us do, you know, you really do kind of have this relationship going with you lovely ladies who watch. And, you know, I think it becomes like this kind of weird balance, because although you shouldn't really be divulging all of your private life, you know, or, well, who's to say that you shouldn't, but, you know, you feel like, oh, perhaps I shouldn't be saying this. But then the other part of you kind of says, well, actually, it's very hard not to, because you're on constantly talking about, you know, what you've done at the weekend, or, you know, what you're doing today, or, you know, all of these things. And so then it becomes very difficult to not mention things, because, of course, then what you're having to do is you're having to make like a deliberate effort to not mention things, which, you know, then it just feels like, A, you know, you're not being very genuine, you know, with who you are. And I mean, I just don't like feeling then like I might slip up in weeks to come and say something, you know, that I haven't said before, kind of thing. And yeah, it's just one of these really tricky sort of situations. And you know, I'm sure that Margaret probably, you know, struggled as well with, you know, should I kind of divulge this or not? But in the end, it just does become one of these sort of things that it's like, well, you know, you guys share so much with me, you know, or with her, or, you know, with our community, that you kind of don't want to then be, you know, is the word like incongruent? Incongruent? Yeah, like, you know, not sharing yourself, you know, because that doesn't feel very, you know, genuine and authentic as, you know, as part of our sort of friendship and our relationship. So it's just one of those kind of, you know, tricky to get the right balance, I think. And yeah, it's, you know, it's just one of those difficult things, because I know that lots of people might say, oh, you know, well, why do you need to explain anything, you know? But I think unless you're actually doing YouTube, you know, you don't realise actually how much part of your life this all becomes. And actually there is part of you that almost is, and I'm not saying at all in the public eye, I'm not trying to claim to be in the public eye, that's not what I'm saying. But there's, you know, albeit in our small community, you're, you know, not public, but you know what I'm saying. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was then my phone. Yes. So, sorry, I was kind of waffling on really a bit there. But, yeah, basically, you know, I think it's very hard to explain unless you actually kind of do YouTube. But actually, you are almost in a sort of public position. So to then not kind of share things that are, you know, very much going on in your life, you know, which of course, you know, her passing of her dear mum, that's a major thing. It's very difficult to then not mention things like that, because of course, you know, just in the realms of doing a daily video where you're talking about, you know, what's going on in your life or what you've been up to, of course that's, you know, of course that's going to be, you know, part of your life, isn't it? And so it just becomes very difficult to not, I think, you know, share some of the things that you're kind of like undergoing in your private life. You know, okay. And, you know, hopefully, because our community is so lovely, I'm sure, you know, Margaret has probably received a lot of lovely support and comfort, you know, and that is a comfort when you're going through stuff, you know, to know that you're being so well supported. So, yeah, I think we're very lucky with the lovely community that we have. So this is my finished pocket. So I have used just one of my shoes from my shoes set 3. So that's what's here. Obviously some lace trim. I've got some flower trims and some of this blingy trim. I do have some of this in my shop as well on my website. Now I'm just going to pull in a journal. So this journal, I'm not saying it's, you know, necessarily a journal that I would put this in, but I just want to show you how this would look on a page. So that's how this pocket would look. Obviously, it is a top-loading pocket here, and then we've got the pocket here and the pocket at the side. And so what I would do, as I say, is actually glue down on 3 sides like that and have it on a page like that. So you'd have a side pocket, you'd have the top pocket here, and then you'd have this pocket here and this one here. So it actually has gone from being a triple pocket to actually a quadruple pocket then. So, yeah, they're really super nice, aren't they? Like I say, completely not my idea. They were Roxy Creations and Junie Desiree. They both did these. I'm not sure whose idea they were initially, but yes, definitely not mine. So, yeah, lovely pockets, very easy and, you know, pretty quick to do. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got these ones to just finish. So 6, 7, 8. So 8 there, including 3 that we have left to finish. So yeah, really hope that you like them. Hope you feel inspired. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks then. Bye.